Radahn, the Consort of Miquella. Alright boys, it's here. Radahn is one absolutely disgusting boss. I'd go as far as to put this boss at the very bottom of my favorite bosses of all time. Why? Because in my opinion, he is completely unfair. And not in a way that makes you feel accomplished when you, well, finally beat him, but in a way that his moveset and stats reminded you a lot of Leah Thomas. There is no such thing as give your big brother the controller scenario this time. Your bro will suck Miquella's dick and die. This, I assure you. Anywho, yeah, this is the hardest boss of all time in any Souls video game. Don't believe me? See the top searches you see on YouTube the moment you type Radahn, the Consort of Miquella. Literally, the top searches are how to cheese Radahn, how to AI break Radahn, and all of this nonsense. This fight took 6 liters of bottles filled with coconut water to keep me sane throughout the fight, and 1 bottle of soju to stop me from jumping over my balcony. I mean, you get the kind of shit we're talking about when the majority of content online about him is not trying to beat him legitimately, but ways to cheese him around. Today, however, that is all going to change. Cause I have finally finished making this video. With that being said, let's get started. The contents for today will be 1. Effective builds that is going to be good against him, attacks of the boss and how to counter them, some strategies that I found, and finally a showcase of my attempt, which I will edit into an anime sort of a style. Alright. Builds. You can use pretty much whatever you like. I'm not your dad, and I'm not gonna be here telling you, oh, you can't use that, oh, you can't use this. However, for the sake of this video, Radahn is extremely susceptible to blood loss, so it's gonna be a pretty good idea to use it. I don't use it because I'm stubborn. Using shields will make the game a lot easier, trust me. It trivializes most of his attacks, so I do recommend using it if, say, your mental health starts going to shit. Now, as for talismans, Halleck Drake talismans and the Dragon Crest Great Shield talisman is extremely important to help you sponge some of his damage, cause he hurt a lot. The Crimson Seed Amber Medallion +1 is the one talisman I highly recommend. My runs looked bleak as fuck before I started using it. The bigger burst of healing is mandatory when you're fighting a boss that can zero your health from full in seconds. As for incantations that I think will be very helpful, will be the Black Flame Protection and Lord's Divine Fortification. This helps to bring your physical or holy negation to a much further level. The thing is, they don't stack, so you have to choose one. I personally go for the Black Flame Protection, cause Radahn hurts more on the physical side. Golden Vow is a good buff to have, to be able to add solid defenses and attack as it stacks with either one of the 2 above. Attacks. Radahn has notably 21 attack patterns, each of them got different punish windows, so I'll write them out on the screen from the number 1 to 3 so that you have an idea of how much window you got to abuse at the end of the attack. The first one is called Meteor Assault. Radahn flies up and transforms into a drill, diving into you before exploding. This can be evaded very easily by dodging into the attack as you see it expand. Radahn does this almost every single time the battle starts, so you gotta memorize the timing. I think it's very important. The next one is called Twin Sword Barrage. Radahn stomps the ground, then swings his sword around to do a 4-hit combo, ending with a ground crack. This can start from a stomp or a downward sword swing. If he does any of the 2, this attack is coming, so be on the lookout. The move can be evaded by dodging left or right at each swing. Be sure to memorize this attack dodge pattern. because he uses this extremely often, and being able to deal with this is pretty much mandatory to beat him, because this attack might be one of the only few long punish windows that he will have on phase 2 and on phase 1. Next is called the Twin Sword combo. Radahn will swing his sword around to perform a 6-hit attack, ending with a slightly delayed horizontal swing with both his swords at the end of the combo. Simply dodge left or right to evade the hits. However, be sure to notice the delayed attacks. Delayed slash. A 2-slash motion is delayed heavily on the second. Simply dodge left or right to dodge the first hit, then wait a second before dodging the second. Delayed swing. A 2-slash motion delayed heavily on the first instead of the second. Just wait a bit before dodging the first swing when you see his hands go up, and then dodge left to evade the second. Bloody slash. Radahn with thrust, followed by a horizontal slash that will explode after an interval, dealing both fire damage and bleed buildup. Dodge into the attack, then dodge left. Keep yourself on his left side and keep running behind him. Twin slash. Radahn slashes from the right, then from the left, followed by a very fast cross slash. Many people think that this attack cannot be dodged, but that's actually not true, as I actually found a way to dodge this pretty much the whole thing. It's just hard. Very hard. You need to dodge very early at an 8 o'clock angle to dodge the tip of the first right swing, so you'll be in position to not get hit by the second. Then dodge into the final cross slash to evade the hit. If it's too hard to dodge, just block it or eat it. It's okay. It doesn't hurt too bad. And in my opinion, using the parry tier just to block this attack is not a worth trade, given that this attack is relatively rare and doesn't really hurt. But if you're trying out a no-hit run, might as well. Lion's Claw. Radahn jumps and dives in with a slash. This can simply be dodged as he goes down. Be careful, as sometimes he might fake it and do a second jump. Savage Lion's Claw. Radahn jumps a second time after the first Lion's Claw landed. This can also be dodged the same way. My tip is to dodge any Lion's Claw, then hit with an R1. If he jumps again, you'll have enough time to dodge it, and if he doesn't, you can just continue with another R1. Gravity Pull Combo 1. Radahn pulls everything into him, then slam the ground to create a massive gravity explosion that deals insane amounts of pulsing damage. It is unavoidable if you are still within the vicinity of the attack by the time the slam lands. If you don't get pulled, however, he won't do the slam. People think this attack cannot be evaded if you get pulled in by the gravity pull, but you actually can. Simply jump backwards before the gravity slam and keep running. Meteor Fall. Radahn slashes the ground, flies up, pulling up the rocks from the ground, and then throwing it towards you. Simply jump left or right before the rocks make contact. Now, on phase 2, Radahn can do everything he did on phase 1, however, all of them will be empowered by light. All of the slashing attacks from phase 1 will have a trail of light, half a second after the swing. Horizontal attacks will have horizontal trails of light, while vertical attacks will have vertical trails of light. They can stagger you or mess up your dodge, so be extremely careful. The first attack on the second phase will be a grab attack. Radahn will jump or lunge into you and grab. This attack does not deal damage, however, if you get hit twice by the grab, you are dead. The timing for this one is honestly quite easy. Simply dodge to the left or to the right before he lands from his jump. Diving Light. Radahn flies up and instantly dive into you, striking 5 times extremely quickly, then leaves behind a vertical light trail. This attack is a facade. It's a 5-hit combo in which 2 are fake and 3 are real. However, you never really know which is which. There are times when I manage to dodge it completely, but when I try to reproduce it again, it didn't work. I matched the timing perfectly and it still didn't work. Unfortunately, the only method of dodging this completely that I found consistent is to be as far away as possible before the attack even started, which is dumb, because you don't know what the boss is gonna do 10 seconds ahead. A better solution is to simply keep dodging left. You'll take damage from stray hits, but in my opinion, it's better than to shove the whole thing down your throat. You can also block the last 2 hits after you dodge twice to reduce more of the stray hit damage. Meteor Fall combo. After Meteor Fall, Radahn dives in towards you, attacking extremely fast 5 times, and then explodes. This attack can only be dodged by running away as soon as the Meteor Fall levitates. Run as far away as possible opposite to him. As the meteor falls are getting close, jump left to dodge the meteor and get back to running again. Dodge left or right after the 4th attack lands to evade the 5th attack, then roll into the explosion. The window is extremely tight. I can't even do it consistently. But I think a better alternative is to simply just dodge left twice at the end. You'll take damage, but it'll hurt way less than if you miss the timing of dodging into the explosion. You take nearly 80% of your health bar from that if you miss the window. Divine Sword Rondo. Dodge left or right early the moment you see the swing. Then immediately dodge again to the direction you dodged before. Then wait a bit. Afterwards, dodge into the explosion. The last bit is easier to do than I make it seem. Phantom Slash. Radahn teleports to you, slashing you, and teleport in front of you to slash you again, followed by a trail of light beams. The best way to dodge this is to time the dodge forwards right before the first slash hits, then blindly dodge forwards immediately to evade the second slash. You'll be behind the light beams, so you'll miss the hits. Collapsing Star. Radahn will do this when you drop his health below 20%. The best way to dodge this attack is to immediately run away as far as possible from where he jumped. Ideally, you reach the far edge of the map. Once you do this, press guard and hope the light beam misses, because this is, in my opinion, purely RNG. Gravity Pull Combo. Radahn will slam his swords to the ground, causing a giant gravity explosion, then jumps into the air. Proceeds to dive into you while attacking 5 times extremely quickly. Then slams his sword to the ground again to create another gravity explosion. Dodging this is by far the easiest out of all the enhanced attacks. Simply jump backwards during the first slam, then keep running backwards until the second slam is about to hit. Jump backwards one more time, and you should be able to evade the attack consistently. This is probably by far the easiest one to dodge once you get the timing right. Light of Judgment. Radahn will create a massive AoE of light that explodes after an interval. You need to immediately start running straight at any direction to get out of the way. Phantom Barrage. Radahn charges for a second and then unleashes a flurry of phantoms forwards. Simply dodge towards his left and you'll dodge this consistently. Light Slash. Radahn slashes a projectile of light that moves towards you. It has full map coverage, meaning that it won't stop traveling until it either hits or is dodged. Divine Shockwave. Radahn releases an extremely fast wave around the whole map. It hits everything instantly with holy damage. Simply dodge the attack when you see the animation start up. Now, let's talk about some strategies. For this, we'll split it up to Phase 1 and Phase 2. For Phase 1, I found out that you can actually simply cheese the AI to keep going for the same 3 moves if you get a bit far from him, and if you press guard repeatedly. Your distance would make majority of his attacks ineffective, so he will always end up using either Lion's Claw, Savage Lion's Claw, Gravity Pull, or Meteor Assault. Both Meteor Assault and Lion's Claw, or Savage Lion's Claw, has ample punish windows. You can abuse this to get him to Phase 2 pretty much scot-free, if you want. The thing is, this strategy makes the fight extremely long. I suggest not doing this if you want to enjoy the first phase fight. I myself don't really do this, but the option is there if you need it. Now, let's talk about the second phase. Avoid dodging backwards on any slashing move. The light trails will roll catch you every single time and stagger you, setting you up to get hit by the entire combo. So, maintain extremely close proximity to Radahn to evade the light trails after each sword swings. They are very random, and some of them will often still hit you even if you previously managed to evade the attack the exact same way. Don't worry too much about it though, it doesn't hurt as much, it's just annoying. Please do avoid getting far from him as it will trigger diving light more often. So always get close and personal so that he'll be more likely to use slashing attacks that you can get a hidden or two at the end. Elden Ring DLC Shadow of the Erdtree got mixed reviews on Steam, saying that the game is too hard. Game reviewers, Reddit, Eurogames, and many more had said similar things. But here's what I think. The game is only difficult if you are either stupid or stubborn. Like me. Using no summons, no bleed, no buffs, no shield, and not using a strong optimized build, or, in this case, not upgrading your Skagitry Blessing will make the game very hard. Believe it or not, I was playing the game with Skagitry Blessing level 0, until I finally gave up on Mesmer. Leveling it up to level 6 there, and trust me, the change is extremely significant. Every Souls game is made out of the same principle. You determine how you want to play the game, and how you want to make the game like. I am sure you guys still have your doubts, even now. So, I did what I shouldn't have and put myself in the line of fire. For this one, I'll beat Radahn with no summons, no buff, no shield, no bleed, no cheese, no parry, just a normal weapon with a Skagitry Blessing of level 13 at NG plus 2. This is as hard as it goes for me. However, let's fucking do this.
Fuck you! Fuck you, fuck you! Fuck you!
potion. It's a dish you really have to taste until the day. No more hatred, my old friend. Wish you a lovely journey. Feeling separation, longing for reunion. This time I come, please bring me navigation. A crank of the dawn, leading me to the front, through the dawn. I truly found the world, awake from long dream, stitched by soulless deep. No way under Alice ring to run free. Let the shadow retreat. The ending comes to perish and be aware. What you see is not what you achieve.
Man, that was a fucking ride, for sure. But I do have a couple of things to say. I would say the first thing is, the fight wasn't perfect. I made a lot of mistakes, so many mistakes in fact, and yet still, with all of that sort of disadvantage, the fight was still beatable. It was still able to be done. So I don't think that the difficulty is over the water, because I'm not exactly a good Souls player, guys, and I know that for a fact. It took me very long, but if you give yourself the chance to practice enough to understand the boss's moveset, you can do that as well. So I don't agree with all these reviews about the game being too hard. Maybe to a certain degree, but it's certainly not something that's over the top. The fight was extremely difficult, especially when I was experiencing it like so. Simply because, as I was dealing so little damage to the boss, I had to just stake in some of the stray hits and gradually just takes chips and chips on my health. So, this is probably one of the biggest issues for me. Like, the ability to deal more damage is probably one of the most important factors of the Skagitry Blessing. Because without it, you don't deal enough damage, and so you will just keep on taking chips and chips from stray hits. And that's probably one of the biggest deal that makes a lot of people feel like the game is a little bit too hard. So here's the biggest tip, guys. Get your Skagitry Blessings up. Don't do what I'm doing. That's stupid, alright? I could probably do it. And it took me like 10 hours. I don't know how long it'll take some of you if you don't do any of the things that I banned myself from doing for this fight. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it helped some of you beat Radahn finally. And much love from me. You know, yeah, subscribe and like the video if you could. This is the first time me asking this, because this video took a very long time, guys. It took a very long time and a lot of pain and suffering. Thank you, and I'll see you guys again on the next one.